I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, and we're back for our weekly update. Aaron Jensen from the city of Waupaca and Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District. And how are you guys doing this week?
Hey, terrific, Josh. Thanks.
Good. Very good, Josh.
And the first thing we'll start with, something fun, something top of mind. For those watching the news, it varies community by community what's happening. And what's the latest on Halloween and trick-or-treat here in Waupaca?
Yeah, so we just had a weekly COVID meeting on Monday with all of our community partners, and we also had one with all the city administrators within the county and county public health just an hour before this meeting. And it's still their opinion that that is an activity that can happen safely. We've talked about closing off streets, closing off to allow more room for flow, but then we also talked about, does that make sense? Because are you creating pinch points where more people will go and gather instead of just leaving the whole community open and letting them do it as they have? We have been fortunate enough to participate in trick-or-treating over the last couple of years with 2 young kids, and really we are with our family, and if you're walking with a group that you choose to walk with, but otherwise we really don't come into close contact with anybody. So I think we all agree from a city administrator standpoint across the county that with county public health that's something that can happen safely. I do want to drive people, though, to our Facebook page and our website. Josh, I know you're going to post up some updated information as far as how we can do that event safely. So please, anyone listening to this, go check out our Facebook page, City of Waupaca, or cityofwaupaca.org for those county health guidelines on how to do your trick-or-treating this year.
And as we look at trick-or-treating as a generally safe COVID activity, as long as you stay with your family and wear your mask and maintain your distance, the other good news, youth related, is our schools here in Waupaca are still open. You're still on the AB schedule. At least within your staff and student group, there's no in those single digit numbers for active cases, and you've been pretty consistent the whole school year so far, and that's leading up where we're at the end of first quarter, where parents are going to be surveyed. What learning method do they want their students in person, live, virtual, or recorded virtual? And with that are coming some updated expectations for those that are off site. And tell us about that, Ron.
Sure. Well, over the summer, as you know, Josh, we promised our parents that we'd be in frequent communication and we'd frequently solicit feedback, and that at the end of the quarters, if they want to switch the learning option there's 3, as you know, the in-person and the live remote, and then the on-demand remote, and that the quarter would be the time. And that quarter's coming up. The end of the quarter is November 2nd. And so today we will be sending out a survey. Actually, it'll be a letter to our families, and embedded in the letter will be some expectations for live remote. What we're increasing those expectations, and then expectations for on-demand remote. And the reason we have to do this is because it isn't working out necessarily so well for some of our learners. Some of them, it's working great, but others, we're losing them and they're not as engaged as they need to be. Some have received truancy letters, and some we're going to be removing from one of those remote learning to, like, for instance, if you're on demand and you're not being able to meet the expectations, you're not getting your work done, you're not attending, you're getting a truancy letter, you're going to be moved to the live or the in-person. And if you're in live and you're not able to meet those expectations, you'll be moving to in-person, because we have to provide education and kids need to be learning. So yeah, that letter will be coming out with those expectations linked in today, and then also linked in will be surveys. We're asking for some input. We want to hear the good and the bad, what's working and what isn't, and maybe some suggestions. We believe that feedback is a gift, and hearing from our parents will help us become better as we make adjustments and tweaks and maybe see things or hear things that we're not aware of.
And another thing the school's done, you've added some new features on your website, and one of the useful ones is your parents and anyone can find out the number of active and total number of COVID cases so far this school year. So that information is publicly available.
Right. Just like a lot of other districts around the state who have these data dashboards for COVID, we did the same thing. Ours is very simple though. We have two pieces of information, two pieces of data. So when you go to the website, you'll see a red ribbon at the very top. If you click on that ribbon, there's three options, and the middle one is will direct you to the data dashboard, the COVID data dashboard. And then inside that, you will see currently, as of today or yesterday, we update it daily, 7 current positive cases that we have in our district cohort. And remember, that district cohort would be the 2,448 individuals between our teaching staff and our student body. So we currently have 7 positives, and then we have 21 total positives, including all the recovered from September 1 through today. And we keep track of that and update it daily. And then we're also keeping track, Josh, of how many teachers are out for a COVID reason, how many classroom teachers, how many other teachers are out that for non-COVID related reasons, how many subs were we able to attain each day, and then how much internal coverage did we need to have arranged each day to cover for teachers that were out. And then we also collect additional data, how many total staff out in a day, how many total students out in a day. It doesn't necessarily mean they're sick, just that they were quarantined, and we're being very cautious in what the total is.
And that gives you, we were talking, that gives you a lot of good data to make decisions off of and see the overall health of the school district and maybe compare trends to some of the area COVID numbers. And one thing I want to reiterate, we talked about several weeks ago, you've got a pretty limited pool of substitute teachers, and it sounds like things have been handled pretty well so far, but people can go to your website if they are interested in becoming a sub and learn more. They
can. We encourage them to. And for their license, we will even help cover the cost of their license as an incentive if they're interested in doing that. We have 14 people on our sub list right now. And like I said a few weeks ago, typically last year we had 77 substitute teachers on our list. This year, 14. And of those 14, 6 are people that we can count on anytime, any day, anywhere, any job. The others, there's limitations. I can't do that. I won't go to that building or, so yeah, we need subs desperately.
I want to jump back to something significant going on at the city, and this has been an ongoing process. The city's zoning code rewrite is moving forward. It had its first public hearing at the city council meeting, and it sounds like there's a little more work needed just to go through some of that feedback that's been presented.
Yeah, Ron mentioned, they value feedback at the school district. We certainly do. We certainly do it at the city as well. And we had a public hearing last night just before our regular scheduled city council meeting. And that public hearing was on chapter 17 of the rewritten ordinance. We did get some good comments, and council ultimately ended up tabling that first reading. And we'll have another first reading at the next council meeting. At least that's the plan right now. And then that will allow Plan Commission to take another look at some of those the specific comments that were made. Plan Commission meets next Monday night. It's a little different with elections and everything. We changed that meeting, but so we'll look forward to taking a look and addressing the things that were brought up and continuing to move forward. And this is not, this is probably exactly what we expected in a process like this. This ordinance is 100 and plus pages long. So to have it go step for step for step and have it be done, that's not what we anticipated. And we'll just continue to take that input and work with it.
Some other news you had relate to development in the city is some good news for Thomas Trail residents and some lots that are out there.
So the Thomas Trail Cherokee Court area, which is just north of Swan Park. It's a newer development. I think there's 9 or 10 homes in there currently. There's probably 15 plus lots that are undeveloped in there. You'd look at that neighborhood and you'd think, oh, there's got to be high-speed internet in there buried somewhere, right? And there isn't. And I think that does surprise people. And I know we talked to Josh about Waupaca Online and trying to get things in there. And it's just the type of technology that Waupaca Online works with. It does not capable right now of, with the topography challenges we have and the vegetation challenges in there. That's just a really tough spot to get at. So we were working with Amherst Telephone Company and distributing surveys to see if they had an interest in moving in there. Their initial plan was to, if they had 10 people responding that they were interested in hooking up, that they would apply for a grant that would allow them to get in. So we're really happy to hear last week that they actually have gotten a positive response from residents in that area. And not only are they moving forward, but they're moving forward without the grant step in the middle. So they're going to go ahead and fully fund that project in the beginning of 2021, and that area will have internet. So that's great for our current residents in there. Not that they didn't have internet, but they will have a higher speed internet with a little more reliability. And it's great for our current residents in that area, and it's also great for prospective development of new homes. I think some people have gone to look at buying lots and building a house, and they're like, then they find out at some point that, hey, they, especially with virtual school going on and people working from home, hey, I can't move in there if I don't have a guarantee that I can have that service. And so we're really excited about the opportunity it may present as well.
And anyone who works closely with internet providers or is in an area where there's lack of internet knows it's nearly impossible to get most internet providers to do anything. So that's an accomplishment that there is a provider in the area that's willing to step in and provide a benefit where needed.
Yeah, that's great. I know, Josh, you and I talked a lot about this, and yeah, I think we feel fortunate we have someone like that in our area serving those needs, and yeah, we're excited.
Another thing we want to talk about is some grant funding available to small businesses.
Yeah, so there was a second round of it's called the We're All In grant, and it's administered by the WEDC, or the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. The first time that this grant funding was thrown out there, 84 Waupaca area businesses were able to take advantage of this grant. They're now funding it with another, I believe, $5 million. And there's another great opportunity for businesses that are struggling with pandemic impacts to apply. And I think that application period, let me check my notes. October 19th it opened, so 2 days ago it opened, and it ends on November 2nd. So I do believe that you've pushed it through our social media. The Chamber of Commerce has done a nice job getting it out to all member businesses. And but I want to just throw that out there. Make sure that you're a small business. Go ahead and look at the WEDC website and see what the opportunities are. Get your application.
And the final thing I want to talk about, coming up in less than 2 weeks is a big election. Right now, Aaron, people can come in and absentee vote in person. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that is going through October 30th. We started on October 20th, so yesterday in the first hour, I heard from our deputy clerk that we had 30 people that had already come in and voted. I think we already have 40-some%, if I'm not mistaken, of our registered voters that have cast ballots, either absentee or in person early voting. So that's awesome. It probably means a little less of a turnout on election day at the rec center, but that's all good. I mean, that's kind of what we were hoping for, and provide a safe space at the rec center on November 3rd. But if you come into City Hall right now, yeah, it's all done in the lobby area, or yeah, in between the library and City Hall. We have locked the doors that face Main Street. So we're really, just for better flow and to keep people safe, we're only allowing people in the back side of the building, so the parking lot or what's so anyway, that's an option for the next few days, October 30th.
Well, Ron, Aaron, thanks for getting us up to date with everything going on, and we'll talk again next week.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Josh.